Here with head football coach Lonnie Pries, heading into week 10 here. First, before we jump into this week's opponent, start off by talking about last week's game at Marion.
Good morning. Oh, excuse me. Marion was a tough game. We came out and first quarter and a half played pretty well. We drove the ball a couple times, ran the ball. We felt pretty effectively, and then halfway through the second, it was about a one-score game. Going in at half, we were driving in their territory, and one of our guys had a miscommunication on the line. They sacked our quarterback, fumbled, they scooped it, didn't score, but then they punched it in a couple plays later to go up by 2 scores at half. So that was tough. We came out in the third and did not do well. Just a number of turnovers, another scoop, and actually one that they scored, and they pulled away in the third quarter. So some positives in the first quarter and a half or so, but after that, we definitely were not too pleased with how things went.
Shifting forward now to this week's opponent, Missouri Baptist, maybe some takeaways or points of emphasis after watching Marion film that you can apply to that was applied to this week's practice.
Well, I know from an offensive standpoint, we'll just continue to stress taking care of the ball, making wise decisions. That just kind of goes without being said that if you're going to turn the ball over, you're going to have a tough time winning. We worked on some stuff with the offensive line with pass protection because really we thought we did a decent job, except for a couple times where we miscommunicated. So try to clean that up this week. Defensively, I think with the with the pass coverage, they threw the ball pretty well, and not so much coverage, but we didn't get a lot of pressure on their quarterback. So that's something I know we've worked on this week with trying to get a lot of different blitzes, get some pressure, because Missouri Baptist is definitely going to they have the skill to put it up in the air. So we got to get a better pass rush.
Talk a little bit about preparation for Missouri Baptist. You guys defeated them last year at their place, second-year team in the league, so fairly new, kind of figuring some things out with them still from a game plan side. Just talk about preparation for them and what you guys have seen on film on them so far and from the game last year.
Yeah, well, and watched the game last year and watched them throughout this year. They are very much improved. I know last year they were up on us at halftime. We didn't play that well offensively, and this year we feel that they're probably a little bit stronger on offense than on defense. They put up 24 points last week against St. Francis, Indiana, which is very good. We didn't even get the score, in the scoring column in the end zone, that is, when we played them. So they have some great skilled players. If they protect for their quarterback, they're going to get some big plays. So we need to get big pressure on them. Definitely, definitely not nervous, but want to make sure we contain their big playmakers. Defensively, they're athletic. They fly around. Maybe not the biggest up front, but very athletic. Where we got a good job because we obviously want to be able to run and throw pretty well. And we feel that if we can take care of the ball, unlike we did last week, we'll be able to get some points.
Good. And lastly, being the last home game this year, it is Senior Day. This group's come a long way from the start. Your staff's first recruiting class, over 23, 25, seniors total. Just talk about what they've meant to the program and what that will, what this game will mean for them and basically the entire program, their families on Saturday.
It's a very special group. They came in when when there really wasn't much to it, not a lot of players. The facilities weren't really there. So they came in just with a hope and a belief that they were going to be a part of growing something. And so it's kind of neat to see the progression over the first 3 years they've been here, and then this year we'll see how we finish up. But aside from the wins and losses, that their families, just a committed group, great supporters, and just very encouraging. Win or lose, whatever it may be, they've just stuck it through. And to have that big of a crew, from an initial class when there really wasn't much here, that have stuck it out, stuck it together, it's pretty special. And the leadership which I think is the biggest reason why we've made this progression. The leadership within that class is pretty phenomenal.
And last, just being the last home game as well, just kind of talk about the fan support you've had this year, number of record crowds, capacity crowds. I guess for those fans that maybe haven't been to a game yet, what would be your final pitch there? And maybe those that have been supportive all year, what can you say to them?
Yeah. Well, if people haven't been to a game, the weather looks great for the first week in November. So it's a great day to come watch football. I think it's 60 and sunny, you know, it's a pretty, you know, the feedback we've gotten, it's a pretty great venue where, you know, you got the stands, and there's not really a big gap. There's really no gap between the stands and the field, so you can get up close and personal. You know, I know some of our coaches might not like that. We're on the sidelines, and literally people are almost in the huddle, but or right above us. But it's just a great venue, and it's going to be exciting football, especially Saturday. You know, with their offense, what they like to do with our offense, we hope to, you know, put some points up. And for those people who've been coming, we just really appreciate it. It's, you know, a lot of the people that are here have been here the whole way. That group of seniors and their families and their parents, and then now with this recruiting class, a lot of their families and friends are on board with supporting them, whether they're playing or not, even if they're younger guys in the program. You know, it'll be neat here. You know, I know we got winter or fall sports are pretty much done. Winter sports are starting, but hopefully we can get a good crowd of our athletes as well. I know last time it was fall break, so that makes it tough. We're just very thankful for the support, and glad that you know, we won some home games this year as well, which we didn't really do a good job of last year.
Good. Well, thanks for your time today. Good luck tomorrow at home against Missouri Baptist. Head football coach Lonnie Pries.